Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. It's almost the weekend. Thank goodness. I hope you are having a lovely day. My name is Lacey Jane, and this is Criminally Confident. And today I'm back with the Kouri Richins trial in what I believe is um, fair to say the absolute most shocking day that I've seen thus far. And I literally just got caught up on it, and I don't think you guys even understand how wild this is. But we're gonna get into it, and I know you have 100 different places that you could be today, and you've chosen to spend some time with me, and I so greatly appreciate that. If you could please make sure to hit the like button, that thumbs up, and just write a comment in the chat. It helps with the algorithm, aka it's not my ego. It helps put this stream in front of other people. So that would be great and greatly appreciated. And I see we have people in here already. I saw some nice comments earlier from Kevin and then Stan. Stan being a member. Members are so greatly appreciated. Hey there, Scott. How are you doing today? Mitchell, hello. All right. Will it free you? Good afternoon. And my girl, Kristen, what's up, girl? And oh my goodness, look at this. Hi, Peaches. I am so happy to have you here. I didn't know that you were a sub. This is absolutely thrilling. Thank you for stopping by and donating some of your time. And Coco is on my lap. Earlier, I was messaging with someone, and she was trying to sit on my lap, fell, her back claws went like this. And so I had to put this ointment of the devil on. If you know what this is, it's like new skin. Oops. And it's for open wounds and scrapes instead of using a Band-Aid. Oh, mama. Okay, Ruth Ann is in here. Ruth Ann, I don't know how I just overlooked your name. I think I was shocked by Peachy. I think like I know it's not a new moon, but people are definitely acting like it's a new moon. You guys feel me? Like things are just a little off kilter. And I am I'm not feeling my best today. I know, shocker. It's like you've heard that before. So I needed to delay this 15 minutes. I appreciate your guys's patience, but it's just moving around is a little bit difficult right now. So thanks for hanging in there and supporting the stream. And just so you guys know, oh, you know what? That's an excellent point. That is an excellent point. Why did I not even think of that? Now I feel dumb. Thank you for pointing that out. It is the time change. People just get like a little wonky, and when the time change comes around, because I'm just seeing things all over, and I am doing my best this week. Believe me when I say to sit on the fence. Like I can't emotionally and physically take on extra things. You know what I'm saying? Like with what I have going on. Normally that would not be my thing, but I have to like protect my peace in more than one way right now. So I just I hope things get better next week. And I what else was I going to say? Have you guys hit the like button yet? Because that really helps me out. Yes, I have said that. We discussed this yesterday. The brain fog is really really taking over my life. So once again, I appreciate your grace and your patience. Not a Howard Stern level production right now, but every day we're getting there. We're getting there. I don't know what. Here's another thing. Maybe Peachy has the answer to this as well, because it's literally mystifying to me. Friday is like my slowest day stream wise. It is like just not very many people show up. Those who do really aren't too talkative. And if you didn't know this, commenting in the chat is really what makes a stream grow and makes the overall experience better. And by the end of the stream on Friday, I want to say I had 50,000 views. And it's not like we did anything different. I was covering the same trial. I mean, the only thing that I can think of is that I adjusted the hashtags on my video description. And even then, I have a hard time believing that that was the catalyst to our 50,000 views, because that's where I used to be. Back in November, December, January, I was raking it in with views. And then, as you guys have heard this story a million times, I went on vacation, didn't touch my YouTube for a week. And it's like I died, like RIP. And I am I'm still working to get my way back there. So I ended on Friday and I was like, this is wild that I had this many views. Excuse me. And the last 2 days have been 4,000, 5,000. And that's a big deal. Don't get me wrong. That's great. But why did I have 50,000 and then jump down? So weird. Okay, I'm getting a bunch of answers in here. Yes, I will agree with Peachy's on this. YouTube can be extremely fickle. Guys, this is real. And then ranking on URL search helps. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I believe you. I have no reason not to believe you. I just don't know what that means. People over what did I say to Nick Ricada in a message the other day? I was like, people gravely overestimate my technical capabilities. I didn't know how to make people mods for the longest time. This has definitely been a learning process for me. Was it you? Was it you? What are you referring to? All right. Without much ado, I would like to get started, and we can talk throughout this, don't worry. But this is bonkers. We gotta do this, you guys. This is just, I was not expecting this. Oh, stop. No. The hashtags help on videos. Dunno, probably the same with live streams. There's websites to find better tags for the SEO. Okay. Yeah, live streams have been wild today. So I'm thankful that I have people in here right now. Typically, once I start stream, people start coming in and throughout the presentation. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. As always, because this is from today.
All rise to the jury.
Why is my hair like this?
Please have a seat as you come in.
It has like the voice of God.
All right, have a seat. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We will now proceed with additional cross-examination of Detective O'Driscoll by the defense. Detective, let's have you come in the courtroom. Detective, please step in front of Brittany. We'll get you sworn back in.
Please don't burn
Do
me.
you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
So
truth,
this
subject
is
to
the
things
lead
that are-
detective that we are that we heard from yesterday. Just a continuance.
Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Good morning, Detective O'Driscoll.
Good morning, Ms. Nestor.
I believe when we stopped yesterday, we were talking about the GIFs or GIFs. And I want to
She like
start
it, the
by
peanut butter.
having you review a document that's been agreed to by the parties. It is exhibit number 3-40. And at this point, Your Honor, we're asking to admit it per stipulation of the parties.
So the witness can see 3-40. And do we want to publish now, counsel?
Please.
Mr. Bloodworth?
No objections.
State's exhibit 3-40 is admitted.
All right. And this was talked about when I believe it was Mr. Kostradimos.
By the
I
way,
think it's all blurring together now.
I
Was
actually
on the
like
stand.
her
But
outfit.
this is the group of all the GIFs or the GIFs that were in kind of a group and included the ones that were accessed on the morning after the police left Ms. Richins' home after Mr. Richins passed. Do you remember the testimony about that?
Yes.
Okay. Can we go to the page that shows the GIFs in question? Maybe blow that up at the top. Okay. So I think that's two of them. One of them is from, I guess, the movie Dumb and Dumber, and the other one is our president. And I think there was a third one, but it's, yeah, Mr. Spacey and in a TV program, right? And those are the three GIFs that were talked about. And if you blow up the time that they were accessed, they all were accessed at 8:29:03 a.m. on March the 4th. That's the day that Mr. Richins was found deceased, correct?
Correct.
Right. And I know we've already heard the testimony that these are what we call orphaned GIFs. You can't really tell which text they came with and exactly when they were sent or who they were sent to or by. All we know is that they were somehow accessed at that point by
That
her phone, correct?
bad.
Testimony, Mr. Kostradimos, yes.
Okay. Can you pull up another one of the photos that is the picture from the house? That's it. All right. This is another picture that was accessed at that exact moment at 8:29. And can you blow the picture up a little bit? Do you recognize what that is, that photograph?
It's the legacy home.
It's the legacy home, right? And was there another photo that was accessed that same
Okay,
morning?
so what they're
also
saying
orphaned? Can you
is
bring that
that
picture?
the gifts were
It's
a
right above it, I think.
response to a photo
There we go.
of the
Can you blow that
home
picture up a little bit?
that she was supposed to close on that day. What
Thank you.
in the hell is he
All right.
wearing?
And is that also just a closer up view of the legacy mansion?
It appears so. It's very blurry on my screen.
It is. I think it is blurry. And then can you back out and show the time that one was accessed according to the same group of photos? That one appears to have been accessed at 10:42 a.m. the same morning.
That's what this document says, yes.
Okay. Now, if we could put just on the witness's screen, exhibit JO,
By the way,
I think it's
they
11.
spent
Not for the
hours
publication yet, Your Honor.
Understood.
debating
Right. And
exhibits
can you
and
take just a moment and blow that up
questions
just a little
this
bit so he can
morning.
read it better? All right. Just take a second and scroll through that.
you guys
And
have
tell me
years
if
to
that
do
refreshes your
this?
recollection about any documents you reviewed about Eric's final communications before he passed.
Your Honor, objection. There's no foundation to get to whether or not his recollection requires refreshment.
Yeah, let's pause there. Would you lay a little bit of foundation before we get there?
Sure. And it requires us to go back to yesterday. So yesterday I had asked you right before we stopped if you had, as part of your investigation, reviewed the final communications of Eric right before he passed away. And you mentioned you had. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
This is a
Based on
beach
that, if you could
waiver.
refresh, do you recall the communications you reviewed that day?
Arthritis.
Not all of them. Some of them, yeah.
Can we then please blow up this document in front of him and see if this refreshes your recollection as to what you reviewed?
Mr. Bloodworth, the witness doesn't have it yet. Any objection to that question?
Your Honor, I think the objection foundation, I think that requires additional foundation.
I think the question pending is, are these among the things he reviewed? Correct.
Maybe I misunderstood the pending.
Yeah.
That's the question.
So I
Can we
think,
back up a step? Maybe I'll catch up.
sure. Ms. Nestor, ask your last question one more time, please.
Catch
Are
up,
these
mustard.
texts that are before you part of what you reviewed from Eric's final communications on his phone?
Go one step before that. He hasn't seen these yet. He doesn't currently have them.
Oh. Do you recall all of the communications you saw that day when you were reviewing Eric's final communications?
All the texts from his phone
Yes.
on the day before he died.
Yes.
I don't remember all of them. I remember some of them.
So then would you please look at this document and see if it refreshes your recollection and as to whether these were included in his communications?
Any objection, Mr. Blower?
No.
Okay. The witness can now see what you're referring to, Ms. Nestor.
Thank you, Your Honor. And can you go down just one more?
My
And then we'll pull that up and load that photo.
reaction seeing that yesterday.
Does this refresh your recollection, these communications of Eric's and Kouri's the day he died?
Let me-
These are timestamped March 3rd. That's not the day he died, but the day before he died.
Totally correct, because he died in, we think, the early morning hours of the 4th, right?
Yeah, he was pronounced deceased on the 4th.
Okay.
Yes, Your
So,
Honor. Sorry. Objection. Foundation is the meaning of died, right? He was pronounced dead.
But I think the witness and the questioning lawyer have a common understanding here. Overruled.
thank you, Your Honor. Okay, so were these included in what you reviewed in the communications between Eric and Kouri on the 3rd of March?
Yes.
And this photograph, if you could blow that up.
Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Objection. His recollection has been refreshed. I think
Just-
the exhibit can now
don't know.
be set aside.
I'm not publishing it. I've just got one more question about the photo and then I'm done.
I'll take you down, ask your question. If you need to refresh again, you can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Wait, did you tell me I could ask the question?
Yeah, I took the photo down. Ask whatever you're about
Yes,
to say.
yes. Does the photo that you just refreshed your recollection with match the same photo that we just saw in 340? That was the corner of the Midway Mansion.
Your Honor, the photo's still up on my screen and the witness is
My apologies.
staring at it.
Sorry. Is it the same photo, sir?
This one that we just saw that was enlarged, you're asking if that's the same as the one in the text
Does
message?
it match the one that we just put on the screen for the jurors that came with all
The
those other
meeting.
pictures that morning?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have. Done with that. I'm sorry, maybe I'm not. Can I have just one moment, Your Honor?
It looked like LeBron James doing that, but I was really just trying to say like dying, RIP, go to heaven, not throw chalk onto the basketball court.
One more step. If we could go back to 340, which has been admitted, and pull up some additional gifts that were accessed at that same time. If we could pull those up, please.
There you go.
Okay, so there's the picture on the bottom left-hand corner of the Midway Mansion house, right?
Yes.
And that one was accessed at 10:42 a.m. the morning of the 4th.
Yes.
And the one with the champagne is also that exact same time.
Yes.
And the one with the farmer is that exact same time.
Yes.
And we know for sure that the one on the bottom left was sent the day before. Because we just looked at that, right? And you refreshed your recollection.
Yeah, I don't know if the part of the extraction that we're looking at right now is saying that that's where that came from. I don't know if that's the same file path, but that photo is the same.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we can take that down now. All right, I also want to talk to you
50,000
about.
views to
Sorry, startled me.
5,000.
I also want to talk to you about the
I'm
Google
still on.
searches that were testified about here that were on Ms. Richins' phone or computer or both. Did you review those as part of your investigation?
Yes.
All right. And were you able to determine dates on all of those searches when they were made?
I don't believe so. Yeah, that would be a question for Mr. Courtroom. I remember seeing the searches and the text of the searches, but I believe he testified that that there wasn't a timestamp associated with them and that they differed from the action in the phone that showed that a link was actually clicked on from one of those searches.
Okay, perfect.
And I believe those had timestamps.
Okay, the links, but maybe not the searches.
Correct.
Thank you for that clarification. And you agree that as of April the 13th of 2022, approximately a month and a few days after Eric passed away, that Ms. Richins' house was searched and she was detained in a police vehicle, right?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation, yeah.
Sustained. Very little foundation there.
Are you aware that there was a search conducted on her house on April 13th?
On Ms. Richins' house?
Yes.
Yes.
And are you aware that while that search was being conducted, Ms. Richins was temporarily detained in a police vehicle for a period of time?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for a legal conclusion.
Overruled on that.
Go ahead.
I think the word detained is the problem there. I think there's been dispute over whether or not she was detained. But she was spoken to. She was asked to wait in law enforcement's vehicle until the detective could come speak to her about what was going on with the search.
Okay. So the searches on the website, fair to say that all of those searches are believed to have occurred after April 13th of 2022?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know there were timestamps on the searches, so I can't be sure.
Did you ever interview any of Kouri's family or friends and ask them if they were responsible for any of those or if they'd ever seen Kouri do it or who did those searches?
would like to
I'd
know
like
the
to talk
answer
about the
to
orange
that.
notebook for just a moment. We pulled up.
That outfit. I
we have
can't
a,
get over it.
we
I'm
have a
sorry.
Orange notebook exhibit. I can't remember the number of it.
Orange notebook.
Court's
exhibit.
indulgence for just a minute. I have the number.
I've got it.
Original.
I'll tell you. Just one moment. I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's hard to keep all these exhibits straight.
Well, ma'am, that is your job.
Can we put up exhibit 2-66R? It's admitted, Your Honor. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Before we do that, can we put up exhibit, 2-66R? That's
Don't forget to hit the like button, y'all. Please
we
and
don't have
thank you.
they redacted part of it, and we don't have that.
Scott, 2-66R, please.
Would he be so kind? I don't want to accidentally put something up that was redacted. Your Honor.
My apologies. We'll fix that. It's okay. One moment, please.
What was
Scott,
that?
we'll do our normal dance. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, you think his hands
2-66R.
done?
Publish.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
There you go.
I think
All right,
he's
and can we,
outfitted.
that's what we like to call the orange notebook, right? Because it's like in an orange kids school notebook, right?
Correct.
Okay, and can you fast
Great.
forward, Katie, to until I tell you to stop? Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, right there. And can you blow out the bottom third of the page? All right, so this orange notebook that was recovered from the house, you don't have any knowledge about the circumstances under which it was prepared, do you?
Yeah, for
or why
like
it was
writing
written.
her book,
I,
right?
And you don't know when it was written.
No, I don't.
And this was seized the day Ms. Richins was arrested, which was May 8th, 2023, correct?
Day after my
I believe so, yeah.
So over a year after Eric's death,
Hmm.
right?
Correct.
All right, and here on there is an entry that says on March the 22nd, can you highlight that please, Katie? Kouri starts counseling. Do you see that?
Hmm.
You need to say yes.
Yes, sorry.
Did you take any steps to verify if that actually was the date she started doing mental health counseling?
I'm not using a mirror, so hopefully this
I didn't
turns out.
learn anything about her counseling from interviews that we conducted. We did get Kouri's medical records, and I don't remember if mental health counselor was part of those, but that's possible.
And I imagine as a, I forgot the word you used, as a serious crime investigator, homicide investigator, detective, death scene investigator, you've dealt with a lot of victims and family members who've been traumatized by a death and have required counseling. Is that fair?
Is that what your business card says?
My involvement with victims doesn't usually go that far to know whether they sought counseling or not. We refer them to the Victims Advocate Service, and
really
they're much
don't
more
care.
equipped to help them with that.
Great. And have you ever heard of what's called trauma journaling?
No.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay.
You want to maybe approach him?
I'll move on. I'm done with that. You
Are
don't know.
we
so-
approaching or moving on?
Why? We're moving on to the subject.
Hello.
We are moving on from the subject matter.
Very good.
All right. You also talked about the fact that you found it, I think you said suspicious, but I don't want to put that word in your mouth, but it was of significance to you that Carmen had placed Mr. Richins' obituary on her memory wall or her inspiration wall or whatever. Is that right?
I noticed it. Yeah, I mean, it was something that caught my eye.
Did you happen to notice if there were any other obituaries right around it or next to it?
No, I didn't particularly notice.
Can we pull up exhibit? Yes, thank you. The second one,
I
816R.
have a million
50?
makeup bags, and I will
815R?
always use a Ziploc.
And that's in, Your Honor, if we could publish it.
care.
I can't see it yet.
I
Katie.
don't care.
Oh, you don't have it. My apologies.
Oh, that one's got things
Would you
blurred.
help us out? Thank you. Let's see. This is 8-15R. Let me just make
You
sure.
guys
this
are
is
not
the one
gonna believe what
you intended,
happens.
Ms. Nestor.
That is the one.
And just Katie does have this one. You want to switch back?
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I'm going to need her to blow it up. Can we switch it back to her, please? I'm so sorry, people. There was a recent version where they blurred a lot of children's faces out and stuff. Okay. Do you remember this picture we introduced of Mr. Richins' obituary on her memory wall?
Yes.
Can you please blow that up, Katie, to show what's right beside it or right under it? Do you see another in loving memory right below it?
Yeah, it looks like a program pamphlet from a funeral.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Also, the C&E hat, I believe, that was on that wall that you noticed. Did you do any investigation to determine if Carmen actually, I'm sorry, if Carmen actually did any work for C&E?
Yeah, based on our conversations, she never worked for C&E as a company. She did work on the Richins house. She interacted with Eric, but she was never employed by C&E.
Okay.
What is your photo of, sir?
All right. I also want to show you a text As part of your investigation of reviewing text between Eric and Kouri, Katie, if you could pull up Exhibit 2 dash, I believe it's 9. 2-3. Thank you. That's it. Before you look at that, do you recall trying to determine, investigating whether or not Kouri was aware prior to Eric's death that at least some, maybe not the house, but at least some of the assets that belonged to them or to
Well,
Eric
I don't
were
know what
shielded
you're
under some
saying.
kind of a trust, if she was aware of that before he passed?
Yeah, that was part of our investigation.
All right. And did you review conversations she had with people about that and texts about that and things about that?
I didn't have any recorded conversations that she had had. I guess it depends on the timing you're asking about.
Okay. I'd like to refresh your recollection and see if you look at these texts, if it reminds you if this is one of the things you looked at in trying to make that determination. Okay.
Okay.
Can you blow that up? It's Exhibit 2-3D as in Delta.
Amber Spice.
And just let him look at all of them, please. Just slowly. Give him plenty of time to read. Can you go back up? I think we're missing that one. There you go, the next page. Does this refresh your recollection? Do you remember looking at this set of texts between Kouri and Eric?
No, I didn't have time to finish reading it.
Oh, sorry. Keep letting him read it.
Crazy boy. You're always trying to get the chicks off. I think it's hilarious. I'm not mad about it. Everyone's allowed to have opinions here.
Does that refresh your recollection? Do you remember reviewing this series of texts between Kouri and Eric relating to the trust?
I don't remember, and the context of those messages, I can't say that that's what they're talking about.
Okay, so this does not refresh your recollection.
No.
Okay, court's indulgence for just one moment, Your Honor.
Okay, that's ridiculous. So basically the thing he was just asked about is something that like he testified to yesterday.
No, that's not true. Seriously.
She say I'm not hungry. It's just not the greatest job. Hey, Riley.
We're working on something, but I'm going to
Yeah,
ask a couple more, maybe back, and then we may come back when she's done looking. So was it your understanding, without saying anything anyone told you, when you were conducting your investigation, did you become aware that Kouri knew of at least some portion of the some aspect of the trust being created before Eric passed?
Objection, Your Honor. More foundation, otherwise it's based on hearsay.
The foundation objection is sustained based upon the witness's prior answer. If you can start smaller, maybe build up to it.
Mhm.
Maybe some foundation here.
Did you
Mm-hmm.
interview people, look at documents, review texts to try to inform your investigation as to whether Kouri knew that Eric had created a trust for at least some portion of their assets prior to his death?
I reviewed information about the trust from several different sources. Everything that I reviewed suggested that she was not aware of
Thank you for your
how the trust worked
consistency.
or
I don't
the
know who you
consequences
are.
of the trust.
Totally fair. I think you're right about that. But was she aware that it existed?
Objection, Your Honor. Same foundation objection.
Overruled based upon his prior answer. You can answer, Detective.
I can't think of a specific instance, but I think there was some information that might have suggested that.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now I want to talk about Valentine's Day. You were here when Ms. Staking testified to the jury that in a conversation with a bunch of friends, there was some joking references made to Kouri wanting to poison Eric, and then Eric stating he had an allergic reaction and used an EpiPen. You heard that testimony, right?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation. That's not what happened.
I think your recitation of Ms. Staking's testimony was correct until the last either sentence or clause.
Did you become aware that at least in some context there was a discussion on about the Valentine's Day incident relating to Eric taking an EpiPen, using an EpiPen?
mistaking from my memory, testified that there was a comment made by Eric in a joking manner that Kouri had tried to poison him. And then she said that Kouri's explanation was that it was an allergic reaction.
And that he used an EpiPen, right? Didn't she say that was the very last thing she said, I think?
Who hasn't
Okay,
joked
so did
that?
you do any investigation into whether or not Eric was treated regularly for allergies?
Yes.
And in fact, he had an allergy doctor, is that correct?
Yes.
And he had an EpiPen device in the master bathroom that was recovered during the first search.
Or
Probably. I know that there were some
seasonal-
located in the refrigerator on one of the searches. EpiPens, that is.
Did you ever investigate whether Eric discussed this allergic reaction with his doctor, his allergy doctor?
I believe one of our investigators contacted the allergy doctor and conducted an interview. I don't remember what the results or content of that interview was.
Did you determine what Eric was allergic to? Was he allergic to avocados or wheat or peanut oil? Do you know?
From what I remember being told by the investigator that had that conversation, it was like seasonal allergies, trees, grasses.
That's wild to
Standards and
have like an EpiPen.
Were you
for
ever able to
seasonal
confirm
allergies,
that
right?
Eric ever sought any medical treatment for what allegedly happened to him on February 14th?
Just that in his text message, he mentioned that he might go to the hospital.
And
So I don't know for sure if he did, but he was feeling bad enough that he thought he might need to.
Were you ever able to confirm that he did?
No.
Okay. All right, I want to also talk to you about Miss Susan Kohler. Do you know who Susan Kohler is?
Yes.
Who is Susan Kohler?
She's an associate of Carmen Lauber's. She worked for Doreen Kouri cleaning houses of Carmen Lauber.
And
0 out of
in the
10
course of
chance
your
I would hire
investigation,
her.
What did you determine, if anything, was the role that Susan Kohler played with respect to this case?
We determined that she sold, I think the number was 15 to 20 Roxy's or prescription narcotic pain pills to Carmen at the request of Miss Richins.
Okay. And was Miss Susan Kohler offered immunity like Crozier and Carmen Lauber were?
Objection, Your Honor.
Do you know?
What's the basis of the objection, Mr. Bloodworth? Or do you need to approach?
Relevancy.
I'll approach for 1 second.
Yeah, I kind of want to know. Yeah, in case you're new here, I don't use a mirror. I don't know why. I've been doing this long enough. Like, I should have invested in a like small mirror by now. I haven't. And so I just like go by muscle memory and hope and pray that I don't look like a clown.
The relevant objection is sustained. Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Did you ever find any evidence or suggestion that anything Susan Kohler sold to Carmen Lauber contained fentanyl?
We found a bag of loose, I believe they were hydrocodone pills in the mudroom walkway cabinet in the house. They were tested. They did not contain fentanyl.
Thank you.
That's like the
You
only
also
part
testified, I
that
think,
trips
yesterday
me
that
up.
shortly before Eric passed away, he went on a hunting trip to Mexico. We talked about that a little bit, right?
Yes.
Like, where did the
Was there any
fentanyl
effort
come
made to try to track Eric Richins' phone movements while he was in Mexico during that time period?
I don't believe we were able to get any kind of
Aw,
GPS
Thank you.
location data from Eric's phone. I think the location data came from call detail records, as was demonstrated by Mr. Cocherdimos.
And you also reviewed the phone calls. Well, strike that. I'll strike that, Your Honor.
I wasn't fishing for
Okay, I think I'm almost done.
compliments.
If I can just confer with counsel, I'm going to wrap it up.
I just wanted to set a disclaimer
All right.
so you guys know.
So just to recap a couple of days of testimony that got interrupted a lot. This investigation has now extended for a period of over 4 years, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And during that 4 years period of time, as recently as less than a month ago, you were still issuing search warrants. Is that right?
Yes.
And there were a total of at least 10 searches by law enforcement of Ms. Richins' home. Is that right?
There were 10 search warrants issued, yeah,
And
or around 10.
you heard that there's also at least 5 multi-day searches by a private investigator. Is that right?
I don't remember if it was 5 days. He said a couple days.
And the agencies that were involved in this case were the Summit County Sheriff, right?
Correct.
The medical examiner's office.
They're not a law enforcement agency.
Well, they have investigator, right? She testified here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a civilian investigator.
Fair. Also, there was a private investigator that was involved in this case and communicated with you and provided information.
No, he was involved in the civil case.
Did he provide you information?
He provided our office information. I never talked to him personally.
All right. The DEA was involved in this case, at least briefly.
They never took any official action. Well, I should restate that. They assisted us with forensic tools,
Okay.
like call detail records and things like that.
Homeland Security agent, or I'm sorry, U.S. Postal Service agent.
I
at
was
one of the
going to
searches,
say,
right?
Yeah, I was aware of that.
We've heard, I believe that we're over 45 witnesses now in this trial. Is that right?
I haven't been counting.
And in all of that, we have no murder weapon. Like, you haven't found anything that was connected to Eric's death. No fentanyl in the house, correct?
There was a boatload of fentanyl in his stomach that came out of the house with him.
Other than this, what's in his stomach? Did you find anything else that had fentanyl in it?
No.
Okay. You can't say how the fentanyl was administered, right?
Orally.
Besides orally.
That's all I know is that he took it orally.
We don't know exactly when it happened and what time of night or morning.
We know a time range.
Okay. You can't say the dosage that was ingested, right? 1 pill, 2 pill, 20 pills.
Illicit fentanyl does not come in dosages.
Okay.
they're going to give me the propofol, the Michael
You can't say
Jackson
what
drug
was
when I
ingested
have my
on Valentine's
surgery.
Day at all, correct?
Fentanyl is definitely ingested. Oh, I'm sorry, on Valentine's Day.
Yes, on Valentine's Day.
No, we don't have any kind of medical examiner's report of his stomach contents from that day.
And on insurance fraud, we have not heard any testimony about any representations that Kouri Richins made to her insurance company, have we?
Objection, Your Honor.
If you put a word to it. Foundation.
Well, foundation also probably then hearsay.
Would you approach for one second?
Words. Help. Counselor. Speak. We have a lot of viewers, like, for the first time I've ever noticed, and by a lot, I mean half on their phones and half on their laptops. Like, I don't think I've ever had that before. It's usually mostly everyone on their phones. So it's very interesting. Yeah, I'm not worried about having it administered to me. I've had propofol for surgeries before.
State's objections are overruled. If you would restate that question, if you can, exactly.
I will. And we've not heard any testimony in this case about statements or representations Kouri made to her insurance company, correct?
Not statements. We've heard evidence about it.
Okay. And with respect to the forgery count, we've not heard any testimony one way or the other whether Eric gave Kouri permission to sign his name on documents, have we?
I don't think that's required to meet the forgery statute.
Have we heard anything about that? Do you know one way or the other whether Eric allowed Kouri to sign his name on documents as a married couple?
No, but that's still signing someone else's name, even if they give you permission, purporting it to be somebody else's signature.
Okay, well, the judge is going to instruct the jury on what the law is about that. But what I'm asking you is, as the investigator, do you have any knowledge one way or the other if Eric ever said to her, hey, it's okay with me, sign my name, I don't have time to deal with it?
I don't know.
And in fact, what we have heard is that he did give her at least one power of attorney at some point years ago, right?
Objection. Well, not objection. Maybe approach.
Sure.
Thank you.
Objection. You know what? I really need to have a conversation. I need to speak with someone. Is there a manager around here? Yes, Stan, I have woken up once and it was a 0 out of 10 recommended experience. I actually ended up in the hospital in the ICU afterwards. Oh my God, really? See, if
Okay, I'll withdraw that question, Your Honor. And you
I'm
were
coming
here
back
when
to
Mr. Throckmorton, the handwriting expert, testified, and you heard him say that he could not say that Kouri Richins was who signed that document. Did you hear him say that?
I heard him say that it was probably
Not Eric,
not Eric.
but he could not say that it was signed by Kouri, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
we skipped over that testimony because if I didn't have my name
I think that's
signed,
what I appreciate your patience. Thank you.
Whatever.
Detective, thank you, Your Honor. We tender the witness.
Mr. Lederich, within the scope of cross, please.
Detective O'Driscoll, in this case,
Aw,
are you the lead investigator among many investigators?
Yeah, it's a large team. I've had a lot of help.
Does your job in part involve coordinating the activities of all the other sheriff's office investigators?
Yes.
And are you the lead investigator for the sheriff's office as opposed to the county attorney's office?
Correct. I have no authority over what
I love
the
that you're a
prosecutor's
member.
investigator does.
And does the county's, well, you may have just answered this, but does the county attorney's office have its own investigation capability and authority?
Yes.
Is it your job as lead investigator to be omniscient regarding every investigative detail in this case, to include details of the county attorney's investigation?
No, I can't know every single detail. It's, as defense knows, terabytes of information.
And in early 2023, was your personal investigative focus on determining the source of the fentanyl that caused Eric Richins' death?
Yes, because like I said at the
Neil.
beginning, I came into the investigations division as a narcotics officer. Before I became the lead investigator on this case, that was our focus, is investigating drug-related crimes.
The like
In early 2023, did the sheriff's office have a digital forensics capability even remotely close to the capabilities of Mr. Cotodimos?
No, that's why we hired him.
And in early 2023, did the sheriff's office have any forensic accounting capability whatsoever?
In which year? Which day did you say?
Early 2023.
They had a little. I mean, how early? Not till March and April.
Well, let me ask you this.
January, 0.
And any forensics accounting capability close to that of Brooke Carrington?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say forensic accounting?
Forensic accounting.
I'm sorry. I misheard. I thought you said digital forensics. No, the sheriff's office has no experts in forensic accounting.
And is part of the reason that they have no forensics accounting experts and minimal digital forensics experts because you have a small office, right?
Yeah, it's relatively small.
Did the county attorney's office become involved in this case in early May of 2023 when it charged Kouri Richins?
Yes, we only met with the prosecutors about a week before to give them our probable cause information.
Subsequent to charging Ms. Richins, did the county attorney's office engage Mr. Cotodimos and Ms. Carrington?
Yes.
seems like a very Greek
And
last
Mr.
name.
Cotodimos, the investigator who analyzed the digital forensics, including cell tower mapping and cell phone data.
Yes.
And was it Ms. Carrington that investigated and analyzed the forensic accounting, including the closing on the Midway Mansion?
Yes.
And does the state provide the material from each of their investigations to the defense in discovery?
As far as I know, yes.
Do you recall in cross-examination when defense counsel picked a sentence from a May 2023 interview of Carmen Lauber, where it was either you or Detective Maynard told Carmen Lauber that she was something like the biggest piece of the puzzle?
Yes, I remember
Yeah.
What was the context of that comment?
that. She said something about, can we just lay out all the information, all the pieces in front of us? Because we were trying to establish a timeline. And we told her, you're the biggest piece. You're the biggest part of the information that we don't know.
And
She
did-
had the information.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. And did that context involve a piece of the drug purchase timeline rather than a piece of this whole giant case?
Correct. The timeline of her involvement, not necessarily the entire case.
And did that interview predate any information on the forensic accounting?
Yes.
And
We
did
didn't even get into that until well after.
And
People
did it
watching
predate
it on
any
their
of Mr.
laptops.
Cotodimos' investigation?
Yes.
And did it predate your understanding of Kouri Richins' relationship with Josh Grossman?
Yes.
Do you recall whether that empty 2016 hydrocodone bottle that went with Eric Richins' body?
Sydney, we
to the medical
hadn't
office- medical examiner's
gotten there
office
yet.
Was discarded by
I was
the medical
hoping no one would
examiner's office in
pick up
August of
on it.
2022?
That's hearsay.
Please lay some foundation sustained.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Do you recall what happened with the
It's
empty
okay.
2016 hydrocodone bottle?
Made my objection.
He's
Detective, it's a yes or no. Start
Nick's
there.
gonna freak out
Yes.
when he goes live.
How do you know what happened with the 2016 empty hydrocodone bottle?
I was told by other investigators
It's
that they're
Objection.
Sustained, not hearsay.
It's not like I write on here
If you
like
were
no
Detective Maynard,
spoilers.
Give Carmen Lauber a ride to anywhere other than Wasatch County Drug Court or her attorney's office?
just here to this building
To this building?
to
or
meet
this
with prosecutors or talk with her attorney. They're here.
Can investigators force someone to?
That's what I was
speak with them if
alluding
that
to
person
when I
does not
said
want to
today
speak
was
with them?
crazy.
No.
Can investigators see someone's cell phone without a warrant based upon probable cause?
We're getting there.
No. It has to be consent
It's
or
worth
a warrant.
watching.
At any time, have you believed that the walk the dog letter gave you probable cause to seek a warrant to seize Ronald Darden's cell phone?
No, it didn't contain enough information for me to have gotten a warrant.
Did your investigation determine that the EpiPens recovered from the Richins home were for one of the Richins children?
Yes.
The gift image, the one with Kevin Spacey that says idiots, idiots everywhere. Is that from the TV show House of Cards?
From my understanding, yes.
Thank you.
Man, that show was so good until Kevin Spacey went and did like pedo things.
I'm sorry, is he finished? We have no further questions. Thank you.
May we release
I
this
think
witness?
she looks
Mr.
great
Blair.
yellow, by the way.
Yes, Your Honor.
Detective O'Driscoll, you are free to go. You are released from any subpoena.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, the state has a stipulation to admit. I don't even think we have to publish it. It's up to the state. I think we marked it as 865. We'll admit that now.
Can I see it for a moment?
Guys, I'm just
Your Honor,
Please.
can't believe this is real life.
Do you want me to give the Mujisik stipulation of fact preamble and read this to the jury? Or do you want to just admit it?
Your Honor, I think if we just admit it now during jury instructions, when the court would instruct on that, we can read this.
All right, we'll have a discussion about whether to convert this into a stipulation of fact instruction when the time comes.
Right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. State's Exhibit 8-65, titled Stipulation of Fact, is admitted by stipulation between the parties. Mr. Bloodworth,
Your Honor, state's in an interesting posture.
do you need a moment on the record outside the presence of the
We
jury?
do.
I think this would be an appropriate time to just set a schedule for the rest of the day. Are we going to be able to? It seems likely to me, you tell me, that we'll be taking a recess now, but not coming back for about 90 minutes. Does that sound about right?
Your Honor, that's my sense of it. I'm waiting on the defense decision.
Okay. Well, in either way, I'll bet you steak dinner it's going to be about 90 minutes, but we're going to rise for the jury, and I'll send out word through the bailiff.
All right, the jury. It's a lot of stakes.
You know, he isn't as
Okay, very good.
ugly as I thought he was. Mr. Bloodthirsty. I love his suit.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a seat, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bloodworth, we're on the record. The jury is not present.
And
Tell me what's up.
Your Honor, the
Ramos.
state's waiting on the defense's decision regarding the Norris matter, because if they want to proceed in one fashion, the state will call some additional witnesses in its case in chief. If they want to proceed in another fashion, then the state will rest.
This is what I was trying to tease out, and I apologize for not being more specific. Given that they did not open the door to this issue through any of the state's witnesses in the state's case in chief so far, I understand the possible order of events from this point forward to be they'll make a decision about whether in the defense case they'll open the door to it. If they do, the state would be able to respond by, among other things, publishing evidence of Mr. Jeff's statements and, forgive me, the other gentleman,
Fun Savage.
Mr. Bonsavage's statements as part of the state's response to or rebuttal of the defense's theory of a failure or to investigate or incomplete investigation. But they haven't opened the door yet, so I don't think there's any need or ability for the state to get into it in its case in chief.
Okay, Your Honor, then the state rests.
Okay. With the state having rested, Ms. Nestor, does the defense have a motion?
We do, Your Honor. Mr. Ramos is going to take care of that.
I want you guys to pay attention to his style of approaching this motion,
Your Honor, under both Rule 17-0
like
as well
he versus
as
the day that
77-13
he
discharge for insufficient evidence, the defense
questioned
presents
the
the
cop.
following and moves for a directed verdict. At the conclusion, this is just for the record, Judge, as Your Honor knows, at the conclusion of the evidence by the prosecution, which has just been done, the court may issue an order dismissing any information or indictment or an account thereof upon the ground that the evidence is not
No.
legally sufficient to establish the offense or offenses charged therein or any lesser included offense. Judge, based on the evidence that has been presented over the past 10 days or so, including all inferences, of course, that can be reasonably drawn from the evidence, it is a position of the defense that some evidence exists from which a reasonable jury could find that some, however, not all of the elements of the crimes that have been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. In terms of the sufficiency of the evidence, Judge, I'll start backwards, starting with count 5. With regards to the forgery, even looking at all the inferences in favor of the state, we do not believe that the state has proven a specific intent to defraud as it relates to the forgery. There's no proof that the signature was done without Eric's authority. And even assuming that the defendant, Ms. Richins, signed on behalf of Eric with or without permission, that itself does not conclusively presume that because she signed the name of
He
Eric,
did to her
that
best
a forgery
friend.
has
She
occurred.
was like,
The act, in other words, of signing another's name without permission doesn't constitute forgery, again, unless it was done with the intent to defraud, which we don't believe it has been met here.
yes, he's
In terms of
very
count 4,
slow and
And
not.
forgive me, Judge, the way I'm approaching this is based primarily on
Selling
the
it.
information, the criminal
Yeah.
information, as the facts were laid out there. It was a bit difficult to follow through the testimony as to exactly what the state's position is. According to the criminal information, the basis for the True Stage count 4 insurance fraud is that Ms. Richins, or rather True Stage left a voicemail with Ms. Richins requesting a copy of the prescription, any prescription Mr. Richins had for fentanyl. Then later that same day, Ms. Richins informed True Stage that fentanyl was not prescribed and that she had no idea how Eric obtained fentanyl.
I think it's that last clause of that sentence that this is the state's prima facie showing. You see it differently.
And taking that as their basis, what the evidence has shown thus far has been that Ms. Richins sought and procured oxy from Ms. Lauber, that while Ms. Lauber indicated that it was fentanyl, her source, Mr. Crozier, provided fentanyl. That Mr. Crozier did not provide fentanyl. Rather, he provided prescription-grade oxys. From that moment, from the supplier, Mr. Crozier, to Ms. Lauber, the evidence is that what was provided was oxy.
May I ask you a direct question about that?
Sure.
Why couldn't a jury, properly instructed on the law and consistent with the court's
this is
duty considering a motion
interesting.
for directed verdict,
I didn't know this before today because, like I have said many times in the past, I am not a lawyer. I am just some chick who watches way too much of this. And I was not aware that when this motion to dismiss is given in cases like when the prosecution rests, the judge his job is to give more influence or like be more in tune with the state. I'm going to let this continue, but because the word is escaping me like it did yesterday when I meant to say I think I meant to say like now I'm forgetting it again.
Inferences in the state's favor.
Oy
The
vey.
evidence as showing that Robert Crozier sold to Carmen Lauber 15 to 30
I saw
bluish
laced.
pills marked
Hi.
30. Carmen Lauber provided them to Kouri Richins, and then, based upon the testimony of Eric Haskell, that during that time frame, bluish pills marked M30 likely contained fentanyl.
Two responses. One, the testimony from Mr. Crozier as to the quantity and the amount per pill does not jive at all with the Haskell testimony as to how much fentanyl grade or the street level non-prescription
He's the best
pills were
part of
going
this
for.
team.
What was indicated in the evidence was the amount that was paid was consistent with prescription grade oxys. So that's how I would answer your Honor's question.
Okay.
Count 3, as I understand it, is that Ms. Richins, again, according to the criminal information, had indicated a phone number with an incorrect digit. The signature on the application that purported to be Mr. Richins is a forgery. We talked about count 5. And then in the context, and I think it was also P.O. Box. I imagine they were trying to establish that Mr. Richins didn't have access to that or something to that effect. I don't believe any evidence has been presented to that degree. Or
The P.O. Box or substantial evidence that Eric didn't know about it.
not necessarily.
If I view the inferences in the light most favorable to the state.
And even with that, Judge, I mean, there was no evidence presented at all that from the Postal Service or anybody saying that Mr. Richins had no idea that P.O. Box existed. There was a statement and a question made by, I believe, the state, but no evidence was presented to show that was actually the case. That's how I would answer your Honor's question. Also, an interesting point.
This is it.
Term life insurance. At the moment that she allegedly signed on behalf of Eric and was submitted and was paid from her account, I am not certain that Your Honor could find that term life insurance actually had value. What I mean by that is that there is case law, of course, in the civil process or context, that in the context of term life insurance, Utah courts have specifically addressed whether such policies have value as property. And the Court of Appeals in Beckham v. Beckham, I didn't write down the citation, I'll provide that, Your Honor, held that term life insurance policies generally have no cash value and therefore no property value. This is, of course, in the context of marital assets. So I bring that up. I think that's an interesting point. Obviously, it was marked for $100,000, but the actual value of that, I don't know, it raises an interesting issue.
Doesn't the statute talking about the elements of that particular crime
Sydney
for count 3
has
talk
a-
about property, money, or things obtained or sought to be obtained?
Correct. And that was going to be my last point, is at that moment, what the state needed to provide or prove put forth evidence is that at the moment that Ms. Richins allegedly signed on behalf of Mr. Richins for $100,000 term life insurance, that at that moment she knew that she was going to attempt to take her husband's life. And I don't believe they've met that, Judge. That's how I would answer that.
Okay.
With regards to count 2 and 1,
Sydney has a
most of
real
these
life
arguments
experience with
overlap. I will attempt to keep them separate, Judge. As I understand it, in order for them to have met the elements, in order for Ms. Richins to be found guilty of an attempt, she must engage in conduct constituting a substantial step towards the commission of the offense. Here, evidence has been presented that she did seek to obtain oxy. We've had that discussion. Obtaining that oxy, just obtaining the oxy itself,
I think
is
it was
mere
your
preparation.
keyboard.
There is case law, as I'm sure your honor is aware, in Safety Johnson 821 P2D 1150, that indicates that that is not enough. Coupled with the information that we just discussed as to whether it was oxy, whether it was fentanyl, I believe that's even Ms. Richins' case currently is even in a better posture than Ms. Johnson. So with that, if we look at it in the context of the Valentine's Day, there is no evidence at this point that what was obtained was fentanyl. One, even if it was oxy, and she sought to obtain that. Beyond that, there's nothing else, no other evidence that indicates that Ms. Richins took those pills, the greenish blue ones, I think at that time 15 milligrams is what Mr. Crozier said, and did anything else with it. I think the evidence as to Mr. Richins ingesting a sandwich is clear. In terms of Ms. Richins picking it up, absolutely. That his reaction was a result of that and not anything else. I believe that the evidence is scant.
Scant.
No, I'm following.
I will say that even in the Johnson case, the evidence was clear that the defendant
Sydney's
in that
lighter.
case had actually obtained a specific type of drug, methamphetamine. So even in that case, they knew exactly what was obtained. Here, it's unclear what was obtained. I will add this before I forget. It relates to all of this in your prior question. In terms of the pills, Ms. Lauber testified the amount of pills that was significantly different from what Mr. Crozier had indicated, as well as the packaging. I believe that's important in the court's consideration in terms of the what type of pills ultimately were given from Mr. Crozier to Ms. Lauber.
All I'll say is yeah, it's standard, but I think he knows where the state maybe did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt more on certain counts than others. And he's trying to really put that into the judge's head and fight on behalf of his client.
This same argument, not to rehash it.
She's shaking.
And it leaves us with the administering of the drug. Zero evidence has been presented besides that fentanyl was in his system, in his gastric, and it was possibly orally ingested. There has been no evidence in terms of the administering of whatever it was at all. Judge, for those reasons, the defense requests that Your Honor exercise your duty under both the Rule 17 as well as the code, and we move for directed verdict on those counts, Judge, for those reasons, unless Your Honor has any questions.
I do not. You'll get the last word.
Thank you.
All right, guys, if you're just now jumping in here, we're about to get to a really
I'm asking
crazy
the court if the court has any particular element that they would like the
Part.
state to speak on.
of all
I
this.
understand the standard. I believe I understand the state's theory on each of the counts, especially 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Financial part's
Speak to
crazy.
count 5 if you want to. Specifically, Mr. Rambis's argument regarding
Sorry to pause it. I don't normally do this, but if you are just now jumping in, please make sure to say hello in the chat and hit the thumbs up button. Thanks so much.
lack of believable evidence regarding intent to defraud.
Your Honor, it ties into count 3, right? It's the same insurance. This is the $100,000 true stage policy. And the scheme charge, the scheme fraud in count 3 is that Kouri Richins, at the time she took out that $100,000. Well, this is interesting.
Right, Peachy?
the timing doesn't matter for count 3, but the timing does matter for count 5. That as it relates to count 5, at the time she forged Eric Richins' signature.
I can't help myself. I'm sorry. I think that what we saw just now from Ramos, his very underperformative nature, like he's usually like amped, right? And I think Kouri's expressions and behaviors and like cues right now, I think are absolutely like foretelling what we are about to see.
She intended to defraud. I think the evidence that supports her intent is the fact that nothing on the face of the application indicates that Eric would know of this application, right? The mailing address, the email address, the phone number, everything, the payment, everything comes back to Kouri Richins. And she signed this, I think it was late January 2023, at a time when she had...
January 29, 2022, correct?
I'm sorry, 2022. It was the end of January 2022, at a time when she had already begun asking Hayden Jeffs and Carmen Lauber for drugs of some sort, at a time when she had already expressed her interest in starting a fresh life with Josh Grossman, and at a time when she had told Becky Lloyd that she would be better off if Eric was dead, and at a time when she had told Josh Grossman if he would just go away. So there is sufficient evidence in the light most favorable to the state that a reasonable jury could find that on January the 29th, when she forged Eric Richins' name, she had intended the entire fraud scheme that's charged in count 3.
Understood. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramos, anything further, sir?
Yeah, just briefly, and this is, of course, Mr. Bloodworth wants to respond to this. I did neglect in my argument initially as to count 2, the testimony regarding the joking nature conversation that Ms. Speakings had that she testified to with both Mr. Richins and Mr. Eric Richins. Of course, Your Honor, heard that, so I would just add that for the record.
Understood. Thank you. Mr. Bloodworth, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, folks. I appreciate the argument. This is an important motion. Let me just take 5 minutes to collect my thoughts, and I'll give you a ruling. We'll be in recess until 5 of noon. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I know the people in here that have been in here for a while are sick and tired of hearing me say this, but we just got a big jump in people. So if you are just now coming in, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button. It helps the algorithm, and drop a comment in the chat because I want to know what your thoughts on this case are, or else just drop your favorite emoji. I think I would, for my favorite emoji, I'd probably pick tornado. Okay. I feel like she got hosed, for lack of a better term, when the family PI came in, handing over everything without the cops needing a warrant. So I think, real talk, and I am a huge supporter of law enforcement. Whether or not you like that, that's okay. Hold on one second, because we're gonna get there eventually, and it's gonna, yeah. So I'm a supporter of people doing their jobs correctly. Let me put it that way. And the ones that don't, I think, need to, be shown for example of what not to do. And this private investigator, A of all, it was the very first time he has ever not worked for a defense. That in and of itself is crazy. And he was so methodical. You can tell he is like type A to the craziest degree. And it's also respectable because you know that person is going to be thorough, right? And then we saw the lead detective come in, and you cannot tell me with a straight face that you think he came in as absolutely prepared as possible. He didn't remember a lot of things. Now, granted, it's been a couple years. We'll give him that. But there were certain things that had not been done, and we would want to see those things done if someone died and eventually someone's going to go on stand for or on trial for murder. So there, I think the PI is watching all of this live and he's banging his head against the wall whenever he's watched the police come on the stand, just because he's like, I did that.
Okay, we're back on the record in case 231-500-139. Counsel for the state are present, counsel for defendant and the defendant are present. The issue before the court is defendant's motion for a directed verdict, seeking dismissal of counts 1 through 5 in the operative information. It has long been established that the elements needed to make out a cause of action may be proven by direct and by circumstantial evidence. And if there is any evidence, however slight or circumstantial, which tends to show guilt of the crime charged or any of its degrees, it is the trial court's duty to submit the case to the jury. When evaluating a motion for directed verdict, the court is not free to weigh the evidence and thus invade the province of the jury, whose prerogative it is to judge the facts. Rather, the court's role is to determine whether the state has produced believable evidence on each element of the crimes from which a jury, acting reasonably, could convict the defendant. Not will, not would, but could. Moreover, the evidence must be viewed in the light most favorable to the state. Applying these legal principles as announced by the Utah Supreme Court in State versus Montoya, 2004 UT 5. The court finds that the state has established a prima facie case against defendant Kouri Richins by producing believable evidence of each element of each crime charged in the operative information.
Okay, so Ramos didn't succeed, right? If you want to see a case where this has worked, you can go to my very first trial I ever covered, and it was here in Columbus. I'm close with the family. I did it back in October. It is the state of Ohio versus Connor Grubb. Police officer. This happened literally 5 minutes down the road, about 3 miles from my house. And it's a police officer who got charged with murder and a whole bunch of other things. And they ended up dropping a bunch of the charges halfway through, or when the prosecution rested their case.
Defendant's motion for directed verdict is respectfully denied. Ms. Nestor, you asked for time to speak with your client to make some strategic decisions. Is between now and 1 p.m. sufficient time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, anything further before we recess until 1 o'clock?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor?
No, sir.
All right. We'll be in recess until 1 p.m., just confirming that to the extent the defendant will be putting on evidence and calling witnesses, you have a couple in the wings. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 1 p.m. Thank you for your time. Court's in recess.
I'm doing everything in my absolute power to get out of here, Peaches. But yeah, it feels like every show on TV and every movie, one of the main characters is like from Ohio. They want the world to think that Ohio is like normal. Ugh. I'm trying to go down south. Pike County, I'm Franklin. But Josh is in here and I haven't seen Josh in a minute. If you don't know Josh, he's one of the mods over for what's his face? Starts with an R. And if you're coming in like, oh God, she's drunk, she's crazy. No, you must be new here. I have really bad brain fog right now. The guy that has like all the cool audio stuff. Not Ricada. Recovery addict. Yes. And Josh has been one of my mods for like ever. He helped me get this channel up and going. So I really appreciate him. And I wish he would always be in here, but beggars can't be choosers. Good night, Sydney. Thank you for chiming in with your thoughts today. And we love our mods here. So while things are calm, before I hit the fast forward button, I just want my mods to know that I love them and I appreciate them. And I literally wouldn't be here without you guys. And I'm really going to depend on you guys when I have this surgery. Does anyone have any questions in the chat? I'm dreading doing this because it's going to be over and I don't want to I like so badly was not feeling well and I didn't want to go live today. But I've ended up really enjoying it and seeing you guys. I don't know why I always forget this, but like I I feel better when I do this because I see you guys and you guys mean so much to me. So we love you. Fit check for today. Are you from Ricada's show? Is that because I know that I did the fit check with him. Hopefully we can do that again. All right. Getting through here. I would love to go to Texas. So outfits. Bloodworth. 8 out of 10. I think he looked great today. Those colors are perfect for him. He had on a navy suit, a red tie, as well as the guy behind him who is always pulling up the artifacts. Is his name Todd or Scott? Scott with the mustache. That guy, true baller, and he looked great today. I think you guys know what I'm going to say about Nestor. I feel like the poor woman can't catch a break. Let me hold on. I don't know why someone hasn't stepped in and done like a intervention with her closet of what not to wear. Because in this forward facing position with the public, it is so important to have confidence in how you look because it impacts how you feel. I don't care what you guys think. It's like science, I think. But it is. It's how it's showing the world how you feel about yourself. And you deserve to feel great and happy. And so just tweaking certain things, knowing what fits your body type, that can help a lot. And I have used Pinterest to go through this because I have gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight. It's not easy. Yes, we do love the mods. I have a question. Why is Nestor so annoying? Because she's always like doubting herself. She's like, that's fair. And she's really not a force. I feel like she would be so much more respected everywhere, especially online, if she showed us that she had more of a backbone. Where is Angerwatt located? Oh, thank you so much. Why do clouds form? Oh, precipitation. Why? What are you doing, Zach? What are you doing, kid? I was on a rant. I'm just now seeing them, sir. Never met a Todd I don't like. I can't stand Nestor. She is condescending. Oh, is that what it is? It's science, I think. I mean, I said it with confidence, though. You know what I'm saying? And then I went back on it like Nestor, and I think. Okay, her voice, her inflection, her tone, she does great as like she's really dropped the ball as the lead on this case. But I don't know why she's so mousy. I would like this as well, especially from Ramos. And that's why I was struck when he went up to do the motion to dismiss and he was just lackluster. And I think in my brain that was like indicative of something's going on. Okay. All right. Let me get this to where I literally cannot even. I can't believe this. I can't believe we're about to watch this. I haven't watched this. So let me get rid of this and find the thing that I wrote and put this on the screen. And feel free to hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to comment. I know a lot of you who were being quiet did comment, so I appreciate you guys so much. And
231-500-139.
tomorrow's going to be
Counsel,
quite a
Defense
day.
Counsel are present. Ms. Richins is present. Mr. Bloodworth, would you like me just to tell the jury when they come back in that the state has rested?
Yeah, so that's fine.
Okay, will do. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, what's the plan?
Ready to go.
Who's defense counsel's first witness?
Quick, just a minute.
Yeah.
We have a couple of options.
Understood.
Guys, I'm like crawling out of my skin right now watching this.
You don't want Your Honor, actually, at this time, the defense intends to arrest,
We should probably do that in front of the jury, yes.
right?
Okay.
I agree.
I just want to make sure you've consulted with your client about this.
Absolutely.
Is now an appropriate time to get a waiver of Ms. Richins' right to testify on the record?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay. You've consulted with Ms. Richins about her, or advised Ms. Richins about her right to testify, correct?
At length.
Okay. Ms. Richins, may I ask you 2 direct questions?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to testify at trial?
Yes, I do.
Are you following your attorney's advice and waiving your right to testify at trial?
Yes, I am.
I accept your waiver. I find it's knowing and voluntary.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Anything further on the record, Ms. Lewis?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth, how would you propose we proceed from here for the rest of today?
So let me backtrack a little bit on your earlier question. I think I should then rest in front of the jury.
Understood.
The defense can then rest in front of the jury.
Look at
I
him.
think then for the rest of today, and I propose tomorrow, the court recess, and that we begin, the parties can work on jury instructions perhaps today or tomorrow, but then we instruct and close on Monday.
My face is not telegraphing any opinion one way or the other. I'm just waiting for a response.
I don't think we have a problem with that. I thought we were thinking it might make sense to get the jury instruction conference out of the way, and then
I agree with you. May we do it tomorrow? Give the counsel both sides a chance to talk to each other about any additional instructions you think might be necessary, narrow any differences or discuss any differences you have regarding any of those, and we can have that conference tomorrow.
yeah, yes, that's fine.
Okay. So we'll talk about scheduling about that. Just want to make sure we're all comfortable with the jury being out in the wild between now and Monday morning. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. Are we ready for
I
yours,
think
Mr. Blood?
he's even
Yes, sir.
surprised, guys.
Okay.
Oh my God. I forgot. I'm not going to be able to see comments for a moment because I'm like going in full screen. Oh, look at this little lady. Oh, hold on. Let me get out of this and show you. Look at her little outfit. This like green little leprechaun lady. And that lady was wearing a law nerd shirt. And if you are leprechaun lady and you are watching, I don't mean that in a mean way. I think you are beautiful. Was he just? I would agree. I think this was
Please have a seat,
horrible.
if you may.
Is she gonna say that she had like inadequate assistance? Is this
Have a
like
seat, thank you.
a strategic move?
Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, the state rests its case.
Very good. Ms. Lewis.
Your Honor, after consulting with our client, the defense rests.
Understood. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there is some legal work that I need to do with counsel in this case to get from here to the next stage. Rather than use your time inefficiently with you in the courtroom, we're going to do the following. We're going to recess for today. You will be on your own in the wild between now and 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning. I cannot emphasize this enough. Between now and 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning, please do not say anything about this case to anyone. I would understand if you had to tell somebody that you have to be back here at 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning. Other than that circumstance, please do not discuss this case with anyone. Do not allow anyone to attempt to talk to you about it. It will take affirmative effort and diligence. I need you to use that same affirmative effort and diligence to make sure you avoid watching, listening, or reading anything about this case from any source whatsoever. And please do not do any search, research, query, anything of any kind between now and 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning. Please travel safe. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you at 8:30 a.m. on Monday. Please rise to the jury. All right, folks, have a seat. May I propose the following? That counsel have an email exchange or a phone call, say 4 p.m.-ish today, about the state of the jury instructions and whether you think there need to be any additions or amendments. And then, to the extent there are, please send me an email or file something in the docket and let me know that you did. And then what time would you like to get together to talk about the instructions one by one tomorrow?
9:30,
Do you want to do it a little later just so I have time to look at whatever happens?
You suggest.
late as possible.
Want to do it at 1?
Yes, sure.
Mr. Bloodworth?
I want to
Sure,
stay
sir.
there.
So you're all at least going to compare notes by the end of the day today. And if you file anything additional, you'll let me know by email. And I'll plan on being back on the record with you all 1 p.m. tomorrow. Mr. Bloodworth, anything else today?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Richins, 1 p.m. tomorrow. The court is in recess. Thank you. All rise.
I mean, what do you guys think? And we're not done yet, by the way, because there is something I found that I have been wanting to show you, and I haven't really had the opportunity. We've been focusing on catching up every day because I'm usually a day behind. And I saw this video from Law and Crime, and I'm fairly certain I can get away with showing you guys this because no one's talking. Like,
Research, but I didn't hear an answer as to how the model was actually developed. Oh,
I think
good morning, Ms. Amon.
this is important.
So, Ms. Chervenak asked you how the
Hold on.
model was developed, and you told us about.
I feel like this is important because it only further shows what you guys have been saying as to her likability, which has obviously been a struggle. And holy shit, I'm just like, I'm waiting for Nick Rekieta. I want to send him a
I
message
didn't hear an answer as to how
and
the
ask him
model
if
was
he's
actually
free.
developed.
Sure. So in the 80s or 90s, a number of studies were conducted on attacks against public figures, political figures, judges, other people. And in those studies, it became quite clear that the offenders were typically engaging in a sequential and recognizable cascade of behaviors leading to the violent attack. And so
not up there
that
yet,
became the pathway to violence. The data collected from those studies showed that 6 particular discrete stages were happening in virtually every case that was studied back at that time. And so that became the pathway to violence. Does that answer your question?
A little bit. So, but the pathway to violence talks about. Well, strike that. Let me rephrase. So you used the analogy of a cardiologist. You said this isn't predictive; it's preventive.
Right.
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 So this only applies after an event has happened?
No, not at all. That's how we have studied it. How we use it is in advance. So let's say, for example, you are a school principal and a child in your school has risen to your attention as raising concerns for violence for whatever reason. Maybe he's got a hit list, maybe he's stalking his girlfriend. So I would look at that if I were consulting with you, and I would ask for everything you know about the situation and the child. And I would look for evidence of these 8 proximal warning behaviors primarily that we know to be well correlated with subsequent violence, including the pathway. And if I saw evidence of any of those, then I would advocate for active management of the case to try to reduce the violence risk. The general rule is that once you observe 1 or more of the proximal warning behaviors, then some sort of active management is necessary to prevent violence. So we're managing behaviors of concern in the present to prevent violence in the future.
Useful if someone came to the FBI and said they're thinking about a mass shooting.
Look at Kouri's face.
I'm not sure I take your meaning.
Well, if it's not useful in predicting violence, and it's useful, as you said in your cardiology example, if someone comes in and says, hey, I'm having these symptoms, then, you can help prevent it. So how is this at all useful in the real world? Because people don't come into the FBI and say, I'm having these symptoms, and you can say, well, you are on the pathway to violence. Let me help you. That doesn't happen, correct?
Yeah, that's never happened as far as I know. But how it is used is if I'm looking at a case where someone has already risen to the attention of whoever is observing as someone being of concern for violence, maybe they've been making threats, maybe they've been menacing people, maybe they have a hit list. I mean, whatever. That can look a million different ways. Then I look at the entirety of the case, as many facts as can be gathered. And then I begin looking for signs of proximal warning behaviors to decide if we're in, sort of an imminent countdown potentially to an act of violence. And that's where the pathway to violence becomes quite useful. If I observe someone on the pathway, particularly in late stage pathway markers, then I might develop, depending on the context, I'd have a lot of questions, but I might become very concerned that we're close to a potential act of violence.
Has this ever actually happened in the real world, where you have stopped violence based on something that was brought to your attention?
Exactly,
well,
Peaches. I rest my case.
We can't. That's what I mean by there's no prediction. I can't. So when we see pathway behaviors or other proximal warning behaviors, we intervene. That's our job, is to intervene. So once we've intervened and there's no violence, how can we ever say that there would have been violence but for intervention? You can't. You can't prove what never happened.
All right. It's fair to say that 2 evaluators could look at an individual and reach completely different conclusions, whether someone's on the pathway to violence or not, right?
Not well-trained evaluators.
Okay.
So your testimony is that people always come to the same conclusion if they're trained.
Kind of like Karen Reed.
No.
Okay. So people can come to different conclusions, even if they're all both
better in
well-trained.
trial too.
I think if they're well-trained, they should not come to different conclusions on something as fundamental as the pathway. You can come to different conclusions about how close someone is to violence.
But it's subjective, right? It's not based on scientific data.
Well, it is based on scientific data. All those studies that I referenced in the 80s and 90s that helped Brian Foskule.
I'm going to grab another drink before
arrive at the pathway to violence. That's data.
Walk the dog letter. BRB.
The journal we talked about that it was published in.
No, that's a different journal. There are dozens of studies, but we're talking about the study I referred you to was in 2024, just because it's the most recent one, specifically on the pathway and only the pathway. But the journals I'm talking about we're talking like 80s and 90s.
All right. All right, that was perfect timing. So thankfully, Josh brought this to my attention, and I think this is a great idea. Apparently, when this was in court, only 3 pages were allowed of the walk the dog letter. And so let me I'm so sorry. Actually, I have a better idea. For those of you who are new around here, this is absolutely normal, but I'm still not going to let you watch me do this live. So guess pollen's bad. I don't know, but I've been hacking. All right, let's share this page. And I am going to read this. All right. Page 1, walk the dog. But take vague notes so you remember. We heard this yesterday, but we didn't hear all of it. So that is what we are going to do. Sky is saying, even if the gummies have fentanyl in them, the prosecutor will say, I tried to put the fentanyl in the gummies so Eric would take them. Stupid, I know, but that's what she's thinking. We will still test them though. However, she wants to link Eric getting drugs and pills from Mexico to link so we need some kind of connection. Her private investigator is doing some research on the ranch/cartel place Eric would stay at. Really? Cartel place? I missed that yesterday. Here is what I'm thinking, but I have to talk to Ronnie. He will probably have to testify to this, but it's super short, not a lot to it. He will need to tell Sky at the meeting next week. Upon information and belief, most like they say, a year prior to Eric's death, Ronnie was over watching football one Sunday, and Eric and Ronnie were chatting about Eric's Mexico trips. Eric told Ronnie he gets pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico from the workers at the ranch, and not to tell me because I would get mad, because I always said he just gets high every night and won't help take care of the kids. There are pictures in my phone of Eric pass out on the floor or in the chair. Also, let me just say, the dude had a laborer's job. So I don't care where he's sleeping. He's probably exhausting caring for his family. Ronnie should have the text from Eric talking about getting high as well. Eric told Ronnie he keeps them in an allergy pill bottle in his work truck, so I wouldn't find them. Ronnie never told me about the conversation. Eric finally told me and asked if Carmen could get him some. Eric never wanted anyone to know he had an issue, especially if he got caught. He always wanted Kouri to go down for him. When they traveled, Eric would put his drugs in Kouri's bag. Sorry, I had to make sure, double check I wasn't on mute. Okay, traveled, he would put his drugs in Kouri's bag at the airlines right before they boarded. And I've told you guys this all along. That would have pissed me off. That way, if they were caught, Kouri got in trouble, not him. Once they got to wherever they were going, Eric would pull the drugs out of her bag and it would cause a huge fight. She was pissed he would risk her going to jail for his drug use. He just would laugh about it, and Eric couldn't ruin his image that he had. Okay, Aaron couldn't ruin his image that he had drug issues, so he would do whatever he had to. Kouri has never done any type of pills. Didn't like them. Rarely would she consume THC, only if Eric begged her because it was a special occasion. Reword this. However, he needs to. To make the point, just include it all. The connection has to be made with Mexico and drugs. Ronnie will have the messages to prove Eric confided in him about getting high. It can be short and to the point, but it has to be done upon information and belief. LOL. They never found pain pills or fentanyl in my house because he had it in the allergy bottle in the work truck. And Cody emptied out the work truck within a week. So they were never found. Page 3. When you talk to Ronnie about this, meet up with him in person. I worry sometimes your house and phone are bugged. Maybe drive down to SL, Salt Lake, and meet him after work without Bree. Sky has to make the connection between Eric and Mexico because that makes the most sense in her mind. If it's Ronnie's information and belief that about the conversation over football, she can use that as a connection. Tell Ronnie, don't overanalyze it. It was a quick 2-minute conversation. LOL. Like, hilarious. Tell him I need him to do this. Bring me home and then we will get those damn bitches. Also, please text Lotto or call him. Tell him do not text me anything about us doing things together, like ever. Even church, skiing, trips, nothing that puts us together. It doesn't look good. We're so close to the end. Let's push through. Have the conversation with Ronnie before he meets with Sky. Then tell him to tell Sky at the meeting about the conversation. Hang in there. We're almost there. Love you to the moon. Take vague notes about all of this so you remember before you walk the dog. Page 4. We did not see this. I saw a commercial yesterday. Utah Mortgage Relief. Google them, please. It's for people behind on their mortgage. Can you see if they can help at all on Marissa's house, please? We have to get yours, and Chelsea's taken care of ASAP. So she did care about Chelsea's house. That's interesting. Try to go to that place in Camas. What about asking Lotto to do a loan solely in his name and not have you on there? I know he can do a home equity line of credit on his house because that worked so great before in Hideout. Not sure if he would, but I know he has like $1 million in equity. Maybe he just doesn't know about a HELOC, home equity. If he wants to help me, taking care of these loans is the most important. I don't give a shit about the rentals. About, does that say hotels? About yodels? I don't know, TBD. Remember, I told you, one way to get at Katie is going through my phone and finding a picture of her girls, even with the boys. Print 15 copies and send them out anonymously to different media companies. Obviously, don't email the pictures so it's not traceable. She would be livid if it got out to the public. You would just have to do it sneakily and be careful. She would try to trace it back to you. If not, no worries. Page 5. Sky is having the girls do the first interview with Good Morning America. Please tell Chelsea to bring up that he hasn't been to church in the 13 years she has known him. And Eric would bragged to her about how much he drank and did pills in high school. Tell Kelsey to say Eric always wanted Kouri to go down for him. For example, he would put drugs in her suitcase when we would travel together. So if anyone got caught, it was Kouri. He would put it in her bag right before they left the house so Kouri didn't know. Then, when we would land wherever, Eric would take them out of her bag and Kouri would be pissed and they would argue about it. Tell Kelsey to say how Eric didn't care and would just laugh about it and say, well, I can't get in trouble, as if it was okay. As if it was okay that I got in trouble. Have Selma talk about Eric in Spain not being able to drink because he was looking for drugs the entire time, and explain the drink the waitress gave him and how I called his doctor and went to the pharmacy immediately. Have Allie talk about how the sisters have always been jealous of me because anything they could do, Kouri could do better. I mean, she looks like she has crazy ass, but let's not go that far broad. Being a mom, college, stay-at-home wife until she built $1 million company, a nice house, car, everything. She had, they wanted. This comes down to jealousy, money, and Eric's partying that they don't want to acknowledge, and sadly, on an accidental overdose. Excuse me. Lastly, don't forget to work on the gun receipts. We want to file charges and let the prosecutor not do anything about it to use in our defense. Will you buy a box of crust white strips, open them up, put in an envelope, and have Sky give them to me? You can tell her what's in the envelope. I'm sure she won't care. I'll make sure they can't be found in my cell. My teeth are yellow from so much coffee and tea all day, sad face. I love you, I love you, I love you. Hang in there, we're getting there slowly. You're the best mom in the whole wide world. I'm so lucky to have you. And that is the walk the dog letter. Let me see what you guys are saying. I believe Karen Reed was innocent, but those interviews she did after the first trial were inadvised, in my opinion, and did not help her at all. I couldn't agree more. Hey, we have 66 people watching. Please make sure to comment in the chat and hit the thumbs up button. That helps me significantly. Thank you. Do you have the whole letter or do you need it? This is definitely why Sky quit. Never use phone or text. I don't know why people keep screwing up. Like, I guess criminals are criminals for a reason, but still, like, have you not learned anything from Hillary Clinton at least? All right. I will give Kouri credit. She can do eyebrows better. Yeah. Okay. Katie needs to buy an eyebrow pencil stat and learn how to use it. Okay. Katie needs a few things figured out on her face. Criminally Confident. Go to eBay and look up Are You With Me? You'll see a copy of her book for sale for $3,333.33. What? This is wild. Willifree says, what a great mother. Hello, Australia. Yeah. I wouldn't have just so openly thought she was cooked until this afternoon. I mean, I was not expecting this. Not expecting this. Okay. Wow, you guys like me reading to you. That's hilarious. I checked my numbers before I started reading, and they were well over 1,000 people less. And you guys eat it up when I read. And her handwriting is very difficult to read, just so you know. Lawyer, seemed to think that the defense resting shows confidence. Oh, I disagree as well. No. They couldn't be that dumb. They couldn't be that dumb. What do you guys think, chat? Peaches and I think the same thing. Kouri looks like olive oil Popeye's girlfriend. Interesting perspective. Okay, so my poll on the phone stream said, oh my God, we only had 19 people like this. What? Okay. Poll, 51 people voted. Is Kouri Richins cooked? And I said, did you like and comment on the stream yet? And 67% of people said 100% cooked. 27% of people said need more info. And only 6% of people said nah. I'm actually surprised by the 27%. I'm not going to lie. With 51 people who voted. Let me look. At the other one. All right. So we had 13 votes on the laptop version. And 77% of people said 100% cooked. 15% of people said too early to tell, and 8% of people said no way. Oh my God. So the 15% of people from here and the 27% of the people from the vertical stream, what do you guys think now? Oh, yes. He absolutely voted not guilty because he thinks she's hot. And I always laugh when I say that because it comes off judgy, but he's such a great supporter of the channel that he can say whatever he thinks. Whatever. I'm not mad. Okay, so let me change the poll. So I'm going to do the phone poll first. And I'm going to ask you guys, how long for the verdict to come back? Less than a day. 2 days. 4 days. And then I don't know what you are talking about. All right. I have created the poll on the phone. Excuse me. And I am doing the poll over here for the laptop viewers, which I love that you guys are here today. It's awesome. Less than a day. 2 days. I don't know what you're talking about. I created a new poll. Wow. I just like, I don't even know what to say. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this at all. This is wild. And I really don't want to wrap it up, but you know what? I will address debating. Nah. Are you guys paying attention to the Kelsey Fitzsimmons stuff? The cop out of Massachusetts who is like being charged with a bunch of crazy things after she was suffering from postpartum depression, and she ultimately got shot by what was her ex partner, like actual work partner, not boyfriend partner. And it turns out that while she was normally I would play a video during this, so it wouldn't be too bad, but I don't have a video to play. Hey, Riley. Okay. So the girl in Massachusetts, he'll calm down in a second. The girl in Massachusetts, she was she was not in a good place whatsoever. And that really breaks my heart, because anyone who's been following me for a while, I've shared my experiences. Nothing close to that. But mental health is so important, and to protect your peace, which is why if anyone is really like bothering you online, especially on YouTube, just block them. You have the ability to do that, and they don't show up anymore, and you forget that they even exist. And I did it. Person's an idiot. It took them like 2 weeks to find out that I had done it. But I couldn't care less. This girl in Massachusetts, though, she was having a difficult time with one of the required tests while she was on probation, or out on bail rather, because one of the gunshots that she sustained from her old work partner like caught her in the lung, and it required like you to blow into it, and they threw her in jail instead of like finding an alternative, more reasonable solution. The people of Massachusetts paid for a woman suffering from postpartum psychosis or depression to go to jail, go away from her newborn baby infant. Just like this, Massachusetts, batshit crazy. So when people come in here and like comment, even if it's mean, I let them stay. And my mods know this. I don't want that to be messed with. I don't want anyone to think that they have to say or think or do something a certain way in order to speak in here. Now it gets to the point if it's absolutely egregious or it's dangerous, I trust their judgment. But I I don't think they realize it helps the algorithm. Like they're doing me a favor by being a shithead. Yeah, what they're doing to Kelsey is just, it's horrific. And today she had court, and it is my understanding that she had a successful hearing this morning, and the defense, it went in the defense's way quite a bit, because some of the things that were going on were just like not reasonable for modern day court and society. Like, for instance, she's now allowed to get her own place or move back into her house, because while she was in the hospital fighting for her life after she got shot, her ex-boyfriend broke into her home and took a bunch of stuff that could potentially be used against him while fighting for the custody of his son. And then the defense, I guess last night, a bunch of content creators got their hands on this videos of the child's father inside of her home. There are over 100 videos of this, and he's going out of the windows, like lighting a bowl, smoking it, like blowing it out. It is the most, it's the most like high school amateur hour. I think I did that when I lived at my mom's house. Oh my gosh. There was like a stint. I tried so hard to like it. And it just made me tired. It'd make me pass out with the narcolepsy. I can't believe the stuff that I've heard coming out of Massachusetts. I mean, and then the people are just like, I'm convinced they have nothing to do all winter except for stir up drama because it's too cold outside. And it just, it never fails. Every winter, there is just like crazy drama coming out of Massachusetts. And granted, I've only paid attention to Massachusetts since I started following Karen Reed about 6 months before her first trial. And I was supposed to be, I feel like most of you know this, I was supposed to be in Dedham for trial number 2, but then I was diagnosed with malls and I was bedridden all of last summer. I left the house like once a week. It was awful. And Assaultman, as I call her, she like was trying to say like I was never going to come there, and this is just one of her crazy ass claims against me. But karma's real. Everything that's happening to her right now. Couldn't be happier with the way that panned out, and I just sat back and let it roll. And I know it kills her that, at least it did, my channel is doing so well. We're getting there. It's just consistency. Okay, guys, do you have any other thoughts or things to add? Like, I appreciate we had some newcomers in here today, like Peaches, and I've seen Ruth Ann in here before, but it's always lovely to see her face. I hope you are enjoying time with your grandbabies. And if you want to support the channel, I have to be careful with what I say. I don't want to sound like desperate, right? But to make a very, very long story short, what I'm doing here, this is helping me in more ways than one. And it's really going to be tough when I go and have this surgery done. They have to take lymph nodes out. They have to remove a whole bunch of nerves, and they have to reconstruct a blood vessel attached to my aorta. And it means so much that people have bought memberships to like support me. Like I would have never thought people wanted to hear me talk. And I'm just super thankful. And if there's anything that I can do to better the channel, I'm always open. Just leave me a comment or join my Discord. And I plan on, after a lot of thought and discussion, I plan on sharing this experience with you guys. And it mostly boils down to the fact that there's not enough research about this disease. Only 1% of humans experience symptoms related to moles, and it's described as, at least the pain is described as end-stage pancreatic cancer. And so, you know, I haven't been able to have like a 9 to 5 in quite some time. And even something like as simple as door dashing, I'm not supposed to have like physical activity. I'm not supposed to bend over and pick things up. It's crazy. So I'm happy that this is getting taken care of. It needs to happen. I'm glad that one of the few surgeons is in Cleveland, and I'm glad that we got that consult out of the way so that we can move forward. But I am gonna, like, I guess, vlog my experience. And by vlog, I mean live stream, because I don't know how to edit videos. Once again, not tech savvy. So I appreciate everything you guys help me with every day without even realizing it. You bring a lot of joy to my life. So thank you very much. And I will be back tomorrow. Make sure to turn on your notifications, the bell. And when you press on the bell on my channel page, select all, not personalized, because you won't be notified when I go live. We're trying to do some like testing right now to see when I should be going live, because I was going live at 3:30 for the longest time, but it's I've seen a weird shift. So we're playing around with some new times. So make sure to do that. Double check, make sure that you are subscribed and you have liked this stream. Just be a good person, please. And thank you again. I shall see you tomorrow between 4 and 4:30. Have a lovely evening. And if you are in the replay crew, please make sure to leave a comment. Love to know that you guys are out there. I know you are. I see my numbers. So have have fun doing your thing and watching this. Let me know your thoughts. This is bonkers. This is just crazy. Thank you again, mods. Thank you, everyone else. I am so appreciative. All right, guys. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye.